So the Lord told me that to forgive means to be released from and to deal with the emotions that are associated with a particular memory or set of events. So today I want to talk about the practical aspects of how to walk out what it is to forgive. You know, we've all got people that have done some really hateful and mean and spiteful things to us. We've got people that have used us, they've backstabbed us. We had friends that we thought were friends. We've had people that have gossiped about us, and it, we know that we can get really angry inside and that we can just hold on to that bitterness. And that bitter root, once it takes root, that unforgiveness is going to affect every single area of our lives. And so this is the subject that I want to talk about today because this is something that I had to go through myself. I went through a really, really rough time in my life, and I had somebody that was just not very nice. And I cried and I pleaded with the Lord and I said, you know what? I need to understand. Show me how to forgive. What does it feel like and what does it look like to walk through that process? And so this definition he gave me, it had to do with me. It had to do with the memories that I had, the emotions that I've had, the thoughts that I had, and how I was dealing with the situation. And, yes, it does have to deal with them. And yes, they did me wrong. And yes, they needed to be fixed. But you know what? That is between them and the Lord. And the Lord knows how to deal with them. The Lord knows how to correct them. And the Lord has other people that can get in their face if he has to and to let them know. But for me, my job was to get in prayer for them and because it says to pray for those who despitefully use you and persecute you. So that was my job. And I mean, that was something that the Lord said to do. And his word says you pray for those people. And it's not easy when you're first starting to pray for somebody, when you're first, going to God. I literally, what happened to me was I would be crying while I was praying for them. And I did not want to pray for them. I wanted to just be so mad and furious. And I wanted to bring up all their faults to God. And the Lord, he didn't want to listen to their faults. What he wanted me to do was to start praying for them and praying for whatever it is that he placed on my heart. I prayed for them that they would see the truth, that they would recognize that they needed Jesus, that they would recognize that the things in their lives that they were doing was hurting others. And I didn't think about what they were doing to me. I started praying for them and what they needed in their life. I prayed that he would bless them. I prayed that he would bring them food, that he would bring them people, friends, and that whatever they needed. I started praying for those kind of things. And let me tell you, it was not easy. I was crying during those prayers. It was hard in the beginning, and my flesh just, it was very hard. But I want you to know that as I prayed for them, the more that I prayed for them, the more my heart started softening up. And the more that my heart started softening, I was starting to feel physically in my body not sick. I mean, I started feeling physically healthier. My mind and my emotions were not getting the best of me. I was able to sleep better. There was things, my relationship with other people were starting to be kind of straightened out, because when you're really mad at somebody that they've done something really, really hateful and mean to you, you can get into a place where you're gossiping about them, where you're telling everybody what they did to you, because you're just, you want to get those hurts out. You want to tell somebody how somebody else hurt you. Well, you know what? It does horrible things physically to your body. You're consumed in your mind, in your emotions, and it doesn't do anything for you. So when I started praying for them and I started placing them before the Lord and lifting them up before the Lord, that's when the changes in my heart started happening. And like I said, it was not easy, but you know what? The years later that I looked back on that, and I try to get, when you try to like garner up all those emotions and try to think about where, you're digging in your heart. You're trying to see, what is it that I can think about them and feel about them? I don't have all that extra stuff in there. I don't feel that hatred and that anger and that bitterness it had taken root. And it was really, really messing with me. But now that I've looked back on the years later, because I took those steps and I refused to hold that bitterness over them and that anger and that resentment that I felt, when I let that go, oh my goodness, it was amazing. And see, now I can look back and I can say, I did release all those emotions. I did deal with them. I don't have those thoughts in my mind that just constantly bombard me. I don't have the memories that are creeping in and that they try to take hold and they try to take over of the things that, that I'm trying to live my daily life out. I don't have those things that are coming in and trying to oppress me. So there is a lot of things that we personally are supposed to be doing to get rid of that hatred and that anger and that bitterness. And when you're thinking about, did I forgive them? Well, this is right there. This is the thing that'll tell you. If you have something that little twinge, or you have that little kind of when you think about them, you bring their name up, or somebody mentions them to you. If you've got that, you know that you haven't forgiven. But if you have their name that comes up in front of you and you don't have any of those negative feelings towards them, then you can honestly say, you know what? I believe I've forgiven them.